Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing really well. And as I said it in the earlier video, that I'll be doing a podcast with two of my students who have recently cleared their management accounting examination. And with that, they have also completed their knowledge level of ACCA. So I've brought them into this podcast, and they will be sharing their experiences about the complete knowledge level as a whole, and also talking about the online classes of ACCA, how they took it sitting back home in Delhi, and I was sitting in Hyderabad taking those classes, how they have made the most of those classes, passed their examinations, and moved forward towards the next level. So without any delay, I would like to invite Tushita and Punya for this podcast, and to just give us one minute to them, so that they can introduce themselves in a short brief. So Tushita, can you introduce yourself first?
Hello everyone, I am Tushita. I am currently pursuing BCom Honours from Delhi University. And thanks to Nasir sir, I cleared my knowledge level exams and I'm looking forward to complete my qualification soon.
Great. Next, Punya, can you just introduce yourself in a minute?
Hello everyone. I'm Punya and I am studying BCom program from Delhi University, and I have recently completed my knowledge level examination and cleared MA exam with Nasir sir.
Great, great, great. So now I'll be posing questions one by one to each of you, so that for the benefit of all the students who are aspiring to get started with ACCA, who are in their 12th or just going to get cleared with their 12th, and or they are doing their BCom first year or second year, they'll all are having these questions. So the very first question which I have for both of you, you can answer it one by one, is that why did you both choose ACCA? Why is that question come? Why did you choose it? First to Tushita, then Punya.
So I was one day reading about ACCA and it just struck me that the validation that this qualification gives in more than 180 countries of the world. So it really struck me that I would be a professional, a qualified professional in so many countries of the world. So that would really give me a competitive edge. So that's why I went for the qualification.
Great, great, and Punya.
I think I was interested in accounts in my 12th as well. So I was looking for courses which I could go ahead in my career. So I found ACCA, and I have heard that AC Indian CA is quite difficult. So I thought it was an alternative, kind of a simple alternative for it. So I thought ACCA was a better opportunity for me.
Okay, okay, that's a very good answers, because I've seen many students taking ACC or taking any other qualification would be stating that array someone some of my relatives said me, or my friend was doing it, so that I did it. So you guys don't have that answer. You are clearly mentioning that you saw it, you saw interest in it, and then you went ahead. So a really good thing, because it's both of you have taken your own decision independently, and not come under anybody's influence to take any qualification, because you need to choose your own studies which you need to do. Great, great. Superb to see that. In fact, let me just tell you all the viewers right now who are watching this, is that I have not met these students till now, and they have just been part of my online class, and they have cleared their examinations. So coming on towards the second question is that how did you find our online classes, and what are the specific things which helped you in these online classes? What were your key things that you found it like this helped me a lot? First, Tushita.
So I found your classes beyond words. It was so good. First of all, the flexibility of and the convenience rather of sitting at home and taking classes, not having to waste time on travel, saving that time and putting that into the self study also. And what I particularly like about the way you teach is that you would not burden us with so many topics at once. you teach us as much as we are able to absorb. So one day we learn a concept, we practice it, and then we build a strong foundation for ourselves. So because these concepts would further be used for the higher level exams also in ACCA itself, and obviously in our professional life when we pursue as a professional. So I think that also helped me a lot. And the way that you check our homework regularly, that I think is a very good way to keep us on track and study for the exam.
Great, great, great. Superb way. Now, Punya, what about you? How did you find it, and what was your key thing which you would say in these classes?
I think the major plus point in your classes I found was you taught really in a different way. Like you would suggest us movies to watch regarding some topics, and I think that is a really interesting way to learn new things. Also, because otherwise it is very monotonous to learn from the book and read it from the book. So I thought that that was really very nice.
Superb, superb. So, coming on towards the third question, is that how do you see yourself? Like, in how long are you planning that? Okay, I'm done with these knowledge level now, and Tushita is also done with 4 papers. Punya is done with 3 papers. Now, how do you see about about the remaining papers? Do you have any deadline for yourself, or have you kept some standards set aside that okay, in 1.5 year I need to complete it, or do you have a plan accordingly for this?
If things go well, I intend to complete my qualification as soon as possible. The standard time that people take to complete the entire qualification is around 1.5 or 2 years. So I hope I would be able to complete it within that time frame. Even if I'm not able to, even if I get stuck at some point, I believe that learning is something which never stops. If I would probably get stuck at a paper, I would learn about it in great detail when the second time I study it. So I'm prepared for any challenge that I face, and I really look forward to complete my qualification as soon as I can.
Great, great. Now what about you with Punya?
Yes, same. I am also thinking of completing the paper in 1.5 years or two maximum. But same, if I get stuck in somewhere in the paper, because higher level paper I think would be little tough to manage. So I'll go with it really well and study it with my whole heart.
Great, great, great. Now, moving on towards some technical things, let's go by paper, just analysis of a paper. How would you say that business and technology, what were the challenging parts in there, and what are the places where you thought that, okay, if I concentrated more on this, I would get a more grip over it? So let's just get started with the business and technology, the first paper of ACCA. Can you just give your feedback for that, Tushita, first?
Sir, I believe that being more of a theory paper, it would be good for people who are able to remember things more better. But I think that the way you teach it, you give so many practical examples, the way it is actually applied in the real world. So I think that would make students easier to, relate to things and then apply them in the exam that they sit for. So I think that challenge would be something that if you are a person who does not like to read, then it might get monotonous for you to, skim through so many chapters that are there in the book.
Right, right, right. Next, what about you, Punya?
The challenging part in business and technology for me was the theory part because I really am not good in theory. So, but the way you taught us the theory part as well, which was very interesting. So, for me, it became really easy to cope up with that paper.
All right, all right. So now let's talk about the next paper, management accounting paper. How was it, Tushita? What were the topics where you would say that you had lots and lots of concentration to be put in, and what were the challenging areas? Because it is stated as one of the toughest papers in ACCA. How would you say about it?
When I was just in the beginning of it, I thought that this paper is a demon. I have to conquer it by putting up so many efforts to be able to qualify this paper. But I think that the challenging parts can sometimes be not being able to remember formulae. But I think that when you actually know how something works, so even if you don't remember the formula, you can probably derive it for yourself and take out the correct answer. So I think you made it very easy for us to, even if we do not remember the formula, we can derive it for ourselves and get the answer.
Great, great. What are the topics you would say that, okay, like any particular topics which you want to give it to the students that you, because you have recently given your examination, you would say that, okay, take on these topics, make sure that you don't leave even a single word out of it. What topics would that be?
So I think budgeting can be a bit challenging because it's completely a new thing that we learned, and standard costing, I would say, requires a bit of a whole part of your attention. And I would say easy marks out of these would be the ratio questions that we get from performance management. So these are things that we also did in our 12th. We had them in the F3 paper. So I think that helps to, secure those marks, to make sure that you do not fail at the paper. You have a leverage at it.
Superb, superb. A very nice analysis. The same thing which I would say this to the students. What about you, Punya? What would you say about it?
I think, like you said, that F2 paper is quite difficult paper and is considered to be difficult. So in the starting also, I was a bit confused that should I go with this or not. Then I found your classes and saw your technique of how you teach the students and found it really easy to deal with the paper. And yeah, that is about how I was able to do it.
Okay, okay. All right. So going on towards the third paper, which is financial accounting. How did you find it? What are the challenging areas? What would you suggest to the upcoming students who are going to do financial accounting?
I think that this would differ from people to people, how strong is their base in the accounts that you previously studied, or how well do you grasp it. But for me, if I talk about the challenging portion was consolidated statements of profit and loss and financial position, mainly because it was totally new. Like we had bank reconciliation, we had all the other ratios, we had studied them earlier, but consolidation is a totally new thing. And also the fact that it also comes in the further papers that we give for ACCA. So that becomes a very important. It becomes very important to clear your base with that, so that you do not get stuck when you go further with the qualification. So that, I think, was the one bit which I found really difficult to cope up with, and it required me practice to do that.
Great, great. What
That's
about
it.
you with you, Punya? What do you say about financial accounting?
I think financial accounting is based on the level that you do in 12th and 11th, the base you do in 12th and 11th. So for me, it was a bit easy. And the difficult part was with me was the inventory chapter. I think that was a bit challenging for me because the topics were new and I was not able to remember that how should we go about that. So yeah.
So great, great, pretty good analysis about all three papers of the knowledge level. In fact, whatever analysis and suggestions which you have given about, because you have just recently completed it, that adds on lots and lots of value towards the students who are going to hear it. In fact, also seeing on your marks, Tushita and Punya, you guys have got really superb marks. In fact, Tushita, your marks for the knowledge level, in few days there would be the rank holders announced for the December attempt. So make sure that you keep your fingers crossed and pray a lot that you be in that rank holders for sure. I'm not going to say how many marks it is, because once we get a rank, then we'll tell you what those marks are, so that you guys also aim to get more marks than that. In short, see, marks getting an additional rank is a bonus thing, but clearing that paper, even if you get 50 to clear that paper, that's a huge mark, I would say. because I'm kind of a student who always got marks in the border and cleared my examinations. So is there anything more which you would say that to the student who is going to, upcoming, suppose you guys started after your 12th, right? What if students want to do it in their 12th? What would you say to them? Tushita, Punya, anyone?
So there are people who start during their 12th class itself, and there are people like us who start after their 12th. So I think it really depends upon how much you can take at one time. Because for me, I had always dreamt of getting a good college. So studying in my 12th, definitely was one of the very important things that would land me into a good college. So once I was focused towards it, so I did not really look out for more opportunities or qualifications supplementary to that. So once I got that done, so then I started with ACCA, and now also the fact that we learned some basics in 11th and 12th really helps us to do the papers quickly because of previous existing knowledge. I think that if people started in 11th and 12th, they would have to put in a bit of a more effort to be able to do that.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, there are many students in our class itself who are there in their 12th and they are doing it. And there are many students who are aspiring to do that. What about you, Punya? What would you suggest on this?
I think, like Tushita said, that in if we start in 11th and 12th, it would be a bit difficult because, like in F3 paper, there are many things which are similar, which we have done in 11th and 12th. So if we have a base of it, so it would be very easy for us to do the paper nicely. So we can start in 11th and 12th, but that will require a more practice and devoted time to it.
Exactly. Somewhat more effort, then you can do it. Otherwise, after 12th is always good doing it while you're doing your degree. It's always good because this lockdown has made it like that, because you can sit at home and give your examinations and classes. So lockdown has made that ease for you. If lockdown would not have been there, you would be traveling to the college to and fro and then doing this, that it would have been a challenge. But even though one paper at a time is always doable for every student. In fact, with this podcast or this video podcast, which we call it, this will be highly helpful for every ACCA student who is going to get started up with the ACCA from their knowledge level. Is going to be huge helpful, because we have put down some technical analysis also of every paper, that which and where you need to concentrate more, and coming it straight from a person who's teaching it also, and the persons who have done it also. So this will be helpful for you. In fact, we can end the podcast on this note, because we want to keep it a bit short so that people will watch it also. So I hope and I wish also that in our upcoming classes we will be making sure that you get more and more new examples for the further papers, and you guys be part of it, and you also clear your examinations at the earliest with highest marks whichever you guys can get. That would be our wish, and we hope that you get that too. All right, so thank you both of you for joining in into this podcast on this short notice, and thank you very much. Any last words which you would like guys want to share?
So thanks to you to teach us, and so that we could. Without you, I don't think I would have been able to clear that
Okay, let
one
me add on.
monstrous paper.
Let me add on one more thing, is that it is more of your efforts. It's more of your efforts which have made it possible. We make sure that we give you the maximum support to clear these examinations. So it is your efforts, and I would say more of your efforts, and my was a support and guidance. All right. All right,
So
guys.
wishing a very all the best to all the students who are pursuing ACCA or those who are
Yes.
thinking to pursue.
Yes.
Very all the best.
Yes, yes. In fact, in today's result, today is 18th of January. We have got our ACCA results early in the morning. I was also awake at that time, and maximum of the students have cleared financial management and performance management. We have got 100% result out there, and I'm really, really happy with all the students who have passed. And we are going to do, a prize ceremony kind of a thing soon on 26th of January if possible, or else previous to that we'll do that for sure. So we'll have a virtual gifting for you if you guys cannot come to Hyderabad. Otherwise, if you are there in Hyderabad, for sure you'll also be part of it. All right. So I hope we are done with maximum queries and question and answers. Is there anything else, Punya? Last words from your side?
I think all the best to the people who are pursuing ACCA, and yeah.
Great, great, great. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this podcast till here. Thank you very much for watching. And if suppose you are an aspiring student, you can reach out to us by the description. You can find out our contact details and reach out to us. And make sure that you share this video with an ACCA student or an aspiring ACCA student from anywhere in India. Or if suppose you're having concerns and doubts about ACCA, you can reach out to us. And if you are an aspiring ACCA student, then subscribe to our channel too. Thank you very much for watching.